Humans have asked us to play by their rules. Well, the rules have just changed.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie mechs. For this list, we'll be looking at the coolest giant robots that appear in feature films, whether driven by a pilot or alive on their own. Stomped on any interesting buildings lately? Tell us what you'd do in your very own mech suit in the comments.
We're going for the breach, Mr. Beckett. We're going to strap a 2,400-pound thermonuclear warhead to strike his back.
Number 10. The Armored Personnel Unit, The Matrix Revolutions. We're not saying these robot suits are the most practical way to fight the robot apocalypse. If they were, you'd expect them to have, well, any kind of armor protecting the pilot. As it is, they're basically grittier-looking versions of the power loader from Aliens that someone strapped a couple of giant guns to. And those guns run out in like 2 seconds, so if you pick one of these up on the secondhand mech market, you better love yelling, "Reload!" Reload! And yet, despite all of their clear design flaws, there's something undeniably cool about the way they move. Maybe it's the textured mechanical clunkiness of the design, or maybe we all secretly wish we had a giant pair of robot arms backing us up.
Got it!
Number 9. Ed 209, RoboCop.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
RoboCop paints a satirical image of a grim future for the city of Detroit where street crime is running rampant and evil corporations control the city. But one prediction that mercifully didn't come true was the one about robot police officers roaming the streets.
What did you think? That you were an ordinary police officer? You're our product.
Sure, RoboCop himself might have been alright, but his competition, the Ed 209, didn't subscribe to such petty notions as compassion or not shooting an entire boardroom full of people to death on a whim. It may have been a big, slow, awkward chicken walker, but it had more than enough firepower to wipe out any obstacle that stood between it and murdering anyone it wanted. Except, inevitably, for stairs. Number 8. The Megazord, Power Rangers.
Cute. The Rangers found their costumes in their dino cubs. Well, let's give them something else to play with.
Let's get this out of the way. Is the Megazord as cool as Voltron? Depends on who you ask. But there's one advantage this giant robot made of smaller robots has over its animated rival. It made it to the silver screen first.
Okay, everyone. Hold the line.
And that's gotta count for something, because if you want to see a fully realized Hollywood version of the perfect visual metaphor for combining each teammate's fighting spirit into one huge punching machine, your only source is the Power Rangers movie right now.
We're like one big Zord, like a Mama Zord. Or no, that sounds lame. A Megazord.
Does it make a lot of sense? Is it even remotely clear how 5 people would work together to power something like this?
How?
Absolutely not. Is it cool though? Undeniably.
No. It might have been my fault. I'm sorry, y'all.
Number 7. The Hulkbuster Suit, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I want to finish the plan. I want the big one.
What do you do when you have a problem? Talk it through? Make a pros and cons list? Well, that's not what Tony Stark does.
News or footage, keyword Hulk.
He makes a specialized high-tech suit of armor to deal with it. And with the Hulk being the biggest problem of all, that required his biggest suit ever.
Come on, Bruce, you gotta work with me.
The Hulkbuster does everything a regular Iron Man suit does. Repulsor beams, flight, super strength, just bigger, louder, and more expensive. Also, it had that cool hydraulic jackhammer fist feature.
I'm sorry.
Maybe the best advantage it had over the other mechs on this list, aside from that sweet Marvel branding, was the ability to repair itself on the fly using parts flown in by autonomous rockets. Let's see Ed 209 do that.
Show me something.
Number 6. Power Loader. Aliens.
Ripley, I'm scared. Me too.
It may be a glorified forklift, but there's a certain blue-collar, kick-ass attitude that comes with using a piece of construction equipment as a weapon. Like the Matrix Mech Suits, there's also something cool about the way the pilot sits in a harness with the arms and legs running parallel to your own. The Power Loader isn't a vehicle you ride in. It's a superpower you wear.
Get away from her, you bitch!
And unlike the Matrix suits, it's not a piece of military equipment, so it actually makes sense why it's not armored. In fact, it has a roll cage, which, ironically, might make it safer. Number 5. Optimus Prime, the Transformers franchise.
Autobots, lockdown is hunting us, and humans are helping. We need to know why.
So, how do you make a giant robot even cooler? Well, what if it was also a truck? Brilliant! It's so marketable, it just seems obvious in retrospect. Then give that talking truck bot a couple of inspiring speeches to deliver in the inimitable baritone of Peter Cullen, and you've got a hit on your hands.
Get to the escape pods. There are other Autobots scattered across the galaxy. We must reach them if we hope to survive.
Right at the intersection of cool cars, sci-fi action, and reassuring father figures, otherwise known as the golden trifecta of kid appeal. And then, what the heck? How about we paint some flames on him, just for a victory lap? Maybe a giant sword if we're feeling crazy.
You defend my family. Or die.
Number 4. AT-ATs, the Star Wars franchise.
All right, boys, keep tight now.
They're big, they're slow, and they're internationally famous for falling over immediately in their first on-screen action scene.
Detach cable! Cable detached!
But despite being easily overcome by a few hundred feet of dental floss and a can-do attitude, the AT-AT Walker has become a staple of the Star Wars expanded universe. You can take advantage of their big guns and frankly impenetrable armor in dozens of video games. You can buy a die-cast metal statue of one to put on your mantelpiece along with your mom's china figures. Maybe it's the sense of ominous inevitability you get from their ponderous approach.
Go for the legs. It might be our only chance of stopping.
Or maybe it's because they kind of look like a big, slow, kind of clumsy dog. But for some reason, AT-ATs are where it's at. Number 3. The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant.
See, I told you it was a big hoax. Dad said the Give me the binoculars. What? Hey, there it is. I see it.
What if you're looking for a kinder mech? A gentler mech? A mech that, yes, eats solid steel for breakfast and definitely has as many giant lasers as any other entry on this list, but won't use them? Well, good news. Against all odds, the Iron Giant takes all of the incredible violence out of the giant robot genre and still somehow makes it better.
You know, words, blah, 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 like that. Can you do that? Blah, blah, blah.
Bet you didn't think a 50-foot iron war machine could make you cry, did you? Well, you were wrong.
You stay. I go. No following.
You may have shown up hoping for an alien invasion, but you left with a powerful message reminding each of us that we can't choose what we look like, but we can be who we choose to be.
I love you.
Number 2. Mecha Godzilla. Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla. If you saw Godzilla vs. Kong, you might know Mecha Godzilla as a terrifying skeletal dinosaur that looks like an animatronic character with the skin ripped off.
What in God's name is that?
And that's fine, but if you ask us, there's just no substitute for the lovably goofy-looking version from the 70s. Complete with finger missiles and rainbow eye beams, they just don't make these city-wrecking super robots the way they used to. There is one thing we could do without, though. The nails on a chalkboard shrieking sounds this makes the whole time it's fighting. We get that giant robots are supposed to be loud, but do they also have to be shrill? Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The Exosuit, District 9, for that lightning weapon that pops people like water balloons. The Amplified Mobility Platforms, Avatar, for looking like a power loader designed by the art team from Gears of War. The Omni Droid, The Incredibles, for being a big spidery bowling ball of death. Veritech Fighters, Robotech the movie. Is it a robot? Is it a plane? Is it kind of an awkward hybrid of both? Yes.
Wow, this gizmo can see through walls.
The Sentinels, X-Men Days of Future Past, for being the all-time champions of hide, seek, and destroy.
And in less than 50 years, the machines that have destroyed so many of our kind were created.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Gypsy Danger, Pacific Rim.
I think this guy's dead, but let's check for a pulse.
Okay.
In any other movie, the other Jaegers from Pacific Rim would have been instant classics all on their own. Cherno Alpha and Crimson Typhoon are expert-level mech designs, but as it is, they're almost reduced to background status by the star power of the movie's central robot, Gypsy Danger.
Oh my God. Look at her. Gypsy Danger.
The combination of stylish design with a textured utilitarian feel doesn't offer up the same plasma cannons and giant swords as other movie mechs. It also makes them feel solid and real, even while it makes them look unbelievably cool.
All right, Mako, get ready. This is for real.
Not to mention the brilliant messaging that it takes cooperation to make it work. It's a delicate balance, but darn if Guillermo del Toro's doctorate thesis in mecha movie making didn't pull it off.
Today we are canceling the apocalypse!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.